I'm Robert Sherretta. I'm the producer of a program we call International Investor. Really, it's largely a business show, but we deal with the global economies. And by that, I mean we look at all the nations of the world and try largely to educate Americans on what's taking place with these nations, good or bad. And we are constantly out and about in Washington, and that's how we really build our program. So I tell people that we're working with many public access systems to make our program possible. The threat of closing down public access stations would not only affect us, but much more worrisome to me would be the effect and impact it would have on future producers. Because programs like ours, International Investor, would have never gotten started, never got off the ground, never survived the early years, especially if it wasn't for public access supporting us in every way possible with equipment, facilities, and people, and knowledge that is so important for people like myself that were really coming from a Wall Street background, but a complete novice to television production. And we are an alternative voice, and I think that's vitally important. People look at public access, and sometimes they see religious voices, they see voices on the political spectrum. We don't consider ourselves in that vein, but we are an alternative voice in the business vein. Even though I worked on Wall Street for almost 2 decades, the fact is we recognized early on that someone had to speak separate and apart from the corporate networks that now seem to be supporting only the Wall Street voices, or conversely, those that just listen to what our congressional and political leaders have to say. We think it's vitally important that not just our program, but other producers come along that are offering other voices that really are not so much against what those entities have to offer, but really come up with some new and interesting ideas that they're not currently presenting because they have no reason compelling them to do so. If public access went off the air, my worry is that first we would be cut off from a significant population that we're currently serving. I don't know if there would be enough corporate sponsors or a commercial station in the Washington area to really pick up the slack of what public access is providing us now, which is really coverage throughout the entire Washington metro community. But more importantly to us, I worry about the new producers coming along. We ourselves right now are at a point where we're trying to groom and cultivate a number of producers, some of which that could add to what we're doing, but others that might go out and produce on their own now. I think they would not have the opportunity if it wasn't for the survival of public access.